To save her son, Moses' mother placed him in a sturdy basket and set it adrift on the Nile River. The gentle currents carried the basket toward Egypt, where an extraordinary destiny awaited the baby within. Moses stood on the edge of the desert, watching the Hebrew slaves labor under the weight of heavy stones and the blazing Egyptian sun. His heart grew heavy as he saw their anguish, their faces lined with exhaustion and despair. Though raised in the Pharaoh's palace, Moses felt a profound connection to these people, his people, and a deep sorrow for the injustice they endured. Standing before the blazing fire on Mount Sinai, Moses trembled as he heard the voice of God calling his name. The flames burned brightly, but did not consume the bush, and Moses listened intently as God revealed his divine plan to free the Hebrews from bondage. With courage ignited by God's command, Moses returned to Egypt, determined to confront Pharaoh and demand freedom for his people. Standing in the grand halls of the palace, Moses declared with unwavering conviction, "Let my people go so they may serve the Lord." Pharaoh, his heart hardened, refused, dismissing Moses' words as the ramblings of a desperate man. In response, God demonstrated his power, turning the waters of the great Nile River into blood, leaving the land parched and the people in shock. Yet, even as the lifeblood of Egypt flowed red, Pharaoh's defiance persisted, setting the stage for a series of miraculous signs and a battle of wills between God's messenger and the ruler of Egypt. As Moses led his people toward the shores of the Red Sea, they could hear the rumble of Pharaoh's chariots closing in behind them. With faith in God's promise, Moses raised his staff and the waters of the sea parted, creating a path of dry land for the Hebrews to cross. The people hurried through, their hearts racing with hope and fear as towering walls of water stood on either side. When the Egyptian army pursued, the waters at God's command surged back, drowning Pharaoh's soldiers and their mighty horses in the depths of the sea. On the far shore, safe at last, Moses and his people lifted their voices in songs of triumph, praising God for delivering them from the hand of their oppressors. With hope in their hearts, the Hebrews followed Moses, walking toward Mount Sinai, where they would encounter God and receive his divine guidance. As Moses received the 10 Commandments, he felt the weight of divine responsibility, knowing these sacred words would serve as the foundation of justice and faith for generations to come. As Moses descended Mount Sinai carrying the sacred tablets, his heart sank at the sight of the people celebrating around a golden calf. Anger burned within him as he saw their betrayal, turning from God's covenant to worship an idol forged from their own hands. In a moment of righteous fury, Moses hurled the stone tablets toward the golden statue, shattering both the idol and the symbols of their disobedience. The crowd fell silent, their joy replaced with fear and shame as Moses rebuked them for turning away from the God who had delivered them from slavery. After leading his people through countless trials, Moses ascended Mount Sinai one final time, his heart full of peace and resolve. On the mountain, God called Moses to stand before him, and as the clouds enveloped the peak, Moses' earthly journey came to an end.